All right, say hi to the world, everybody. You are now being live streamed on YouTube and the internet, and uh, so welcome. Let me get to my Zoom here. I want to see your faces if they're on there. All right. Could everyone see me okay?
Yep.
Could everyone hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes,
right,
I can
good.
see you and hear you.
All right, good. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out the Zoom stuff. So it's they say what do they say? You never achieved anything if you didn't try it. So I'm given the Zoom. I need to actually take some time and just take a class or something, but my ADHD, I'm much better learning by trial by error. I'd rather just be lined up against the firing squad and get burned a couple times. And honestly, that's how I built this business. I've been doing loan signings now for 22 years. I started in January of 2001 as a signing agent, and I've been informed to put my camera down a little bit. So one last thing here. Let me put some light on me. That'll probably be a little bit better too. All right. So welcome everyone. Like I said, I've been doing this since January 2021. I started as a signing agent. Through my 20 plus years of trial and error, I've been able to create this amazing, I don't know what you call it, a network of just amazing signing agents all over the country. And my job, my goal is to be I want to create one of the nation's largest networks of loan signing agents across the nation to serve our mortgage and title and escrow and attorney clients, legal clients, and just the general public in general. A lot of people, they get their notary license, they sign up with the signing service, and they're just gimme. But everyone's complaining when they're not getting the work. And that work comes from creating relationships with realtors and lenders and escrow officers and attorneys and the general public. So I remember I used to gripe about it too when I was first starting out and I didn't know anything about the business. So that's what the Zoom training is about, is to try and give you guys a little bit of understanding about the industry. If you're fairly new at it, if you're not and you've been in the business for a while, welcome. Hopefully you can add some great insight to your experiences and trials by fire like I have to this network. If any of you haven't been to it yet, I'm going to kind of just give you a little pitch right now, and then we're going to jump into the training. I know we have Rachel Chisenhall on the Zoom training here, and she's our licensed life, family, marriage therapist. I truly believe that mindset is everything. If you guys haven't seen my little thing I keep on my wall there, we're all just goldfish in a pond trying to be sharks, right? So she's going to be here to kind of help guide us, if you will, about changing our mindset so that we are benefiting not just ourselves, but the people around us, our families, our business, our clients. It's all just a balancing act, if you will. So if you haven't yet, please go to signaturesignings.com. You don't have to do it right now, but hopefully you have a pen and pad in front of you. Take down a little bit of notes. Signaturesignings.com and select option 5. Option 5 gets you into the back end of our website for our notary members, and you get to create your free Signature Signings account. By doing that, you get all kinds of great tools and resources that I've created for all of you. There's a rescission calendar. There's notary handbooks for every state. There's a list of Facebook groups for every state through Signature Signings. I mean, there's just tons of tools and resources on there. That's all complimentary for you guys. It's free just for signing up. If you take our vetting quiz, and if you haven't been a signing agent long, don't worry about it. Just take the quiz. If you have to write down some of the questions that you don't know before you answer them, great. You only have 15 minutes to take the quiz though. So you gotta do it fairly quick. We wanna sort out the people that know exactly what they're doing and the people that need some more time and mentoring. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it took me years. I didn't have anybody like myself or a Mark Wills or Bill Soroka or Carol with Notary to Pro or anybody like that. So don't feel bad if you're not where you want to be. You're in the right place to get there. But you're going to take our vetting quiz and you're automatically a member of Signature Signings because you have to sign up. It doesn't cost you anything to become a member. After you pass the quiz, my admin, Tara, is going to email you a fidelity approval package. It's, I believe, 14 pages. I haven't looked at that stuff in a minute, but it's, like I said, believe 14 pages. Make sure you fill out all the information. I know there's a couple pages that need to be initialed in the corner. Do not miss those because Fidelity will kick it back to us. You may already be Fidelity approved, and that's great. Unfortunately, with Fidelity, you have to be approved, not just directly, but if you're going to do work for signing services still, you need to be approved under each individual signing service. So we have to go through that process with everybody. So regardless if you think you're Fidelity approved somewhere else or with somebody else or with Fidelity directly, fill out this package anyways, because we have to get you listed under our signing service as a Fidelity approved notary. And that's pretty much it. After you take the quiz, we ask for a $25 one-time fee if, and this is only if, you want to be one of our preferred partners, meaning we are going to give you first opportunity any signings in your geographical area within 25 miles. Okay. So if we don't have anybody in your area, because this is a big country now, there's a lot of nautical or square mile, 25 square mile blocks. And I know we have access to over 60,000 notaries, but not all of those notaries have taken our vetting quiz, and not all of those notaries have gone through the process of getting Fidelity approved under Signature Signings. And we want to invest in the people that are willing to invest in us a little bit. This $25 does not go into my pocket. This money goes towards creating the network, marketing to create more opportunities for us, to pay for our admin staff that manages the signings that we give to you guys. Okay, so think of it as a small investment into yourself. It's not a big one. And like I said, it's just a one-time $25 fee. And then we get you set up in our system as one of our preferred signing agents. And you get first notification for any signings within your local area of 25 miles. There's another option where you can pay $25 a month, and that allows you to become auto-assigned to any signings that go through your area. So if you see a lot of signings in your area coming up from Signature Signings, it may be worth your while to subscribe and get those signings automatically assigned to you when they come up. All you got to do is hit accept and boom, it's yours. If you're the first Signature Signings partner to accept that, you're going to get that signing. And so that's pretty cool. And it's a guaranteed minimum of $100 for every buyer, seller, refinance sign, reverse mortgage. Obviously, if it's a single document signing, I don't even charge that much for my clients most of the time. So I can't guarantee $100 on a single document, but any traditional package, you're going to get paid a minimum of $100. So that's just to give you guys a little bit of basics about Signature Signings, what we are, what we're doing. We're trying to create a network of amazing signing agents. And once you guys have, I truly want to help get you guys, if you are working for a lot of the signing services, I want to help transition you away from signing services. I don't want you working for me. I want you working for yourself. That's where the money's at, is getting paid direct with realtors, lenders, title and escrow officers. And that's why I do this free training. And here's the catch. This is where you can help Signature Signings benefit, and you can also help the network of our notary signing agents benefit as well. And that's by creating opportunities just like I have. And I share those with all of you through our Signature Signings nationwide signing service platform. And so if any of you have direct clients lenders, realtors, escrow officers, attorneys, and you personally cannot do the signing. Maybe it's out of your jurisdiction. Maybe you already have a signing booked that day, but you want to provide as much service as you can to your clients. I am giving you Signature Signings to use as your own nationwide signing service platform. And we actually pay you for those opportunities. And then we share those opportunities with everybody in our network. So I hope that makes sense, because that's exactly what happens with every signing service, except they lowball the hell out of us, as you all probably see it. And I know the work is minimal right now. There's not a lot of opportunity because of interest rates really affecting the market quite a bit. And I noticed that I've been told, I don't work for any signing services anymore, but I've been told through the grapevine, I hear it, that signing services are lowering the amount of money that they're paying out our notaries because they're trying to make up for their lack of business as well. All right. I don't care about if I don't make anything on a signing, but I know that I served my client well. That's what's most important to me. That's what's most important to building this business, is creating a reputation that you are there for your client. You are there to serve. It's not about the almighty dollar. That money will come once you create that relationship and that kind of rapport with your clients. Don't ever chase the dollar. Okay. Chase the relationship. Do whatever you can to build that relationship. I want to build relationships with all of you so that in the event that you have an opportunity to share opportunities with Signature Signings and we can pass those on to our other notaries, that's what this is all about, is a true network. Everyone says they want a network, but they're just like, gimme, 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 but nobody's giving anything in return. And that's what Signature Signings is all about. So I've got my spiel out of the way. A lot of you may have heard it before. Some of you may have never heard it before. And that's okay. Repetition's the mother of skill, right? The more times we do something over and over and over again, the more we tend to internalize it. So I'm going to share my screen now because we're going to jump into a little bit of training here. Some of you seasoned signing agents may already know all this stuff. Some of you may not. I'll tell you what, I went to a notary conference several years ago and I thought I was the shit. I thought I knew everything there was to know. And I was quickly humbled after spending a day or two there at the conference about how much I really didn't know. And now I continually go to the conference. No matter how much I think I know, there's always something else I can learn. Technology for me is a big thing. I'm terrible when it comes to technology. So stick around and check this out. I'm going to actually walk you guys through how I go through an estimated buyer's and estimated seller's statement. So this is where the technology comes into place for me. I'm going to try and share my screen with a mock seller statement right now. Okay, I believe. Can everybody see this okay? Somebody say yes.
Yes.
All right, good. Good. Now I just need to, is there a way to enlarge this? I'm curious. Oh, there we go. So this is what a traditional estimated seller statement looks like. This is the first page of any package, seller's package. So we have Joe and Josephine, buyer, and Michael and Therese, seller of 123 Main Street, Anytown, USA. All right. Now, the key word you need to understand when you're explaining this document is estimated. Keyword is estimated. These numbers are not set in stone. All right. You can see up at the top here, it says settlement date, disbursement date. That's a day that the escrow is expected to close, meaning the transaction has been funded, finalized, recorded, and transfer of ownership has been made. So, if anybody has any questions while you're sitting at the table, like, well, when's this supposed to close? You can tell them, well, it looks like it's scheduled for May 3rd. Now, again, it's estimated, so that date can change, but all these numbers are currently based off of May 3rd. So obviously there's the sales price typically obviously isn't estimated. Sales price of property, $580,000. But then we have some prorations here. And if you look at the prorations, it says May 3rd, 22 up until June 1st of 22. This is for HOAs. So Michael and Therese, in this case, as the sellers, they had an HOA with their property. And this is showing the final payment of their HOA, the prorated portion of it, which looks like 28 days out of 30 at $96 divided by 30 days, 28 days. So they're paying $89.60. Actually, they're getting a credit there, forgive me, because they're not going to be in the property for that period of time for the 28 days. They paid the whole HOA already, but because they're only going to be in the property for 2 or 3 of those days, they're getting back the prorated credit. Same with their county taxes. They paid for their county taxes up until July 1st. Okay. But they're not going to be in the property for 58 days of the time that they paid for their taxes on the property. So they're getting a prorated credit back there of the money they've already paid for their taxes as well. So $787.09. And then we have our listing and selling agents commissions. One's at 2 3/4%. The other was at 2 1/4%. Total is 5%. So those are the commissions that are being paid to the realtors. Now, you're like, how come I have to pay commissions to both real estate agents? That's what happens in the real estate industry, as the seller pays for both commissions, because when you're the buyer, you don't pay any commissions. It's paid on both sides based off the total sales price. So I've had people complain about that to me. They're like, why am I paying the real estate agent's commission on the buyer side when I'm only selling the property? And that's because when you bought the home, you did not pay any commission whatsoever. All right. Now, I'm not an escrow officer. I'm not a lender. I'm not a realtor. My job is to be a notary signing agent. I don't know a lot about what CalFIRPTA's processing fees are, or why, or escrow fees, or title insurance. So I usually just kind of generalize this stuff to my clients. And if they have more questions about it, they're definitely more than welcome to reach out to the title officer or their lender or their realtor. But in this case, I just like to generalize that these are the title and escrow fees. These are the fees that the title company charge to make sure that there's no liens associated with the property, there's no other rights of ownership associated with the property. So if anybody in the future were to come back and say, hey, we have some money owed to us that was associated with this property, maybe a construction lien. I've heard stories where people put in a pool and they had some cement work done, and then the people sold the house, but they never paid the contractor for the cement work. Well, if they didn't have a lien out there on the property in regards to that, and it was never caught by the title company, that's going to protect the sellers and the buyers from having to come up with those fees after the transaction's already been closed. So that's what the title company does, is to make sure there are no liens associated with the property. If they are, they're going to make you pay them before they do anything, which is why we have this Lakeview Service by Flagstar loan. This is the mortgage associated with the property. They're required to pay that off. Same thing with their second mortgage loan with the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. And it looks like their Matadors Community Credit Union, they found 3 different liens on this property that had to be paid off before they could relinquish their rights to the property over to the buyers. So in addition to those 3 loans, and knowing firsthand about this transaction, this was some solar panels that the owners had, or that the sellers had. And this was a forbearance loan that was done during COVID. And this was their first mortgage right here. And then the county, you have the government charges, the county charges their recording fee, and they have a transfer tax. Now, these are all estimated fees. Usually the title company doesn't know exactly what these fees are going to be, but they have a ballpark idea. So they estimate these fees. Then we have the HOA charges plus late fees. Okay, again, these are estimated. There probably isn't a late fee associated with this, but they just want to make sure that if there is, that it's included in the transaction. The HOAs typically charge a transfer fee. The May HOA dues of $96 are paid and due, so April and May. And then because it shows May, but they're only going to be in the property for 3 days or 2 days in May, they're getting the prorated credit back there. And then everyone pays for their natural hazard disclosure report. If you're a seller, you need to get this report to show the buyers if the property is in a flood zone or a fire zone or an earthquake or wildland seismic activity area. And it looks like the seller is probably rented back from the buyers for a little while. So they paid a little bit of rent for an extended stay on the home, even after the transfer of ownership. If we scroll over here to page 2, it's pretty much just the totals, it looks like. Let me see here. It's kind of acting funky. Okay, so yeah, I don't see anything on here other than the totals. So when you take all of the charges and you take all of the credits and you weigh them out together, it looks like there's a difference of $167,555.51. Again, I can't stress enough, this is estimated. It's probably actually going to be a little bit more than that because they usually overestimate these fees to make sure that all bases are covered. And then any differences will come back to the buyer. So, there's times where somebody said, there's maybe some utility bills built into this here. And they're like, well, I already paid the water bill and the sewer bill. Okay, great. Not a problem. The day that the title company goes to close on this transaction, they're going to verify the exact balances due with the lender, with the second lender, with the credit union in regards to the solar panels. They're going to verify the balances due with any utility bills. And so if they've already been paid, they're going to credit whatever dollar amount that is back to the bottom line. So that's why I like to, really just emphasize the word estimated to these sellers. Be like, don't worry about it. The title company is going to verify everything. And, if you have any questions or concerns, obviously you can reach out directly to the title and escrow officer, or, a lot of them, they don't typically have a relationship with the escrow officer. They have the relationship with their realtor. So if they feel more comfortable, have them reach out to their realtor. The realtor will contact the escrow officer and they can get it straightened out if they have any other questions or concerns. A lot of times these settlement statements aren't updated by when you get the documents. Things may have changed between the time you got the documents to the time you get to the closing, and maybe something changed in there. It's not that big of a deal. I promise you that. Just reaffirm to them that these are estimated. It's like I always like to use the analogy of going into you get an oil change. They make you sign off on something that shows what you're expected to be paying for this oil change. But then when they say your car is done, you go back and they're like, well, we didn't realize that your car requires the synthetic oil and it costs that much more. So it's going to be $20 more. Or maybe it was like, your car only needed 4 quarts of oil instead of 6 quarts of oil. And so they brought down your total charges a little bit. That's what this is pretty much like, just an estimate. So that is what a seller statement looks like. Is there anybody that wants to jump in? Do you have a question or concern I can help address about the seller statement? Don't be shy, just jump in there. Awesome. All right, well then I'm going to move on then to a buyer statement. I just need to move. Let me find that. Okay, actually, this is going to be a refinance statement. This is an estimated refinance statement. Can everybody see that okay? Yes. Rachel?
Yes, can see it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. So On the estimated refinance statement, a refinance statement and the buyer statement are literally the same exact thing. The only difference is that on a refinance statement, the people already are living in the home. They're just refinancing their loan to potentially either get a better rate or to pull money out of the home to get equity, as opposed to just buying a new property from somebody that's selling it. So there's really not a whole lot of difference on the settlement statement between the two. In this case, again, it's estimated. We got Josephine Buyer. She's buying 123 Main Street, Anytown, USA. We got the lender here, a portion of the loan number. I've whited out a bunch of this stuff, so there's no details to anybody's particular transaction. And it's showing that they are taking a loan out of $380,972.
And we can't see that one.
Now, Rocket Mortgage is charging
Hey, Mike.
all these fees here. There's a big long list of them. You got broker's compensation, 2 times underwriting fee, appraisal fee, $695 paid outside of closing by borrower, credit report fee, flood determination fee, flood life of loan. All
Mike,
these fees, like I talked about earlier in regards to the title and escrow fees,
Mike, we can't see that one.
you can't see the
I-
estimated fees.
I still see the seller's statement, like the same one you
Oh,
already.
you do? Oh, okay. Right, thank you. That's why. Let me go back to Zoom here then. I need to figure out how to,
Yeah, switch the forms probably.
yeah, your screen is paused. All right, stop share. And screen share. All right.
There we
Does it
go.
look different now?
Yeah, that looks different. That says
All right.
estimated refinance statement.
All right, thank you. So I'm living and I'm learning, trial by fire, right?
Right.
So our estimated refinance statement, as I stated, we have Josephine, we have the property, we have the lender, we have the loan amount. She's doing a loan for $380,972 for a house that she already owns. And these are all the total loan charges of $3,221.21. Okay, that includes all the fees that I was talking about earlier: broker's compensation, credit report fee, appraisal fee says it was paid outside of closing. That's typically the case. The whoever's refinancing or buying the property need to pay for the appraisal fee. I don't get in the details in regards to all these different fees associated with the transaction because, like I said, I'm not a lender. You're not a lender. I don't know what the terms were in regards to the broker's compensation or any of that, or what why CoreLogic charges $8 as opposed to who knows. But there are a couple things that I do talk about, and that's the prepaid interest, the homeowner's insurance, and the property taxes, and the aggregate adjustment and lender credits. So the reason I talk about that is it's pertinent to the transaction in regards to their escrow account. So I'm gonna start back up the top here, and we're gonna go through this slowly because I want you guys to understand the details. We're doing a loan for $380. We're gonna bypass these few fees, but we're gonna get up to the prepaid interest. So the interest is paid ahead of time, not after the fact. So they're getting a loan and they're paying the interest from April 21st. That's the same day that they're looking to close on this transaction, the settlement date and disbursement date, April 21st, up until May 1st. Okay. Their technically their first bill probably isn't going to be due until June 1st. And so June 1st bill is going to show the interest that was due from May 1st up until June 1st. And so they're always paying their interest ahead of time. So the interest is built into this transaction up front in the amount of $739.70. They're being charged that interest up front. They're also being charged for 11 months worth of homeowners insurance. So if you were to take their annual homeowners insurance policy, if we did the math right here, let me pull out my calculator really quick. It is $112.50 $0.33 per month. You see that? If we multiplied that by 12, that comes out to $1,347.96. What this tells me here is if they're paying 11 months of interest up front, their annual policy must be coming due within the next month or so. And so because this loan has what's called an escrow account or an impound account, the lender is collecting money up front to pay for the homeowner's home insurance policy that's coming due this next month. Same thing with the property taxes, okay? Property taxes here in California are due twice a year. So if you have an impound account or what's also called an escrow account, I think that's something we'll get into next week. If you don't fully understand what that is, it pretty much is like a built-in savings account for the lender to pay your taxes and insurance for you. So your taxes and insurance are built into your loan on a monthly basis so that when you get hit with your annual insurance or your biannual tax bills, instead of you having to come up with these large dollar amounts, you're just paying a smaller amount each month, and it goes into the account and the lender will pay those bills for you. It just makes things so much easier. I remember I used to be a financial advisor, and I would think, nobody's going to hold on to my money and get interest off it, and I'm not going to get anything off of it. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to have an impound account. And man, when those big insurance bills came due and those tax insurance bills came due, I was like, crap. as financially savvy as I can be, just because I know things doesn't mean I actually do them, right? A lot of us are like that. And I didn't have the money in my bank account to make these large payments. So trust me on this, unless you're just a baller and you've got tons of money, in my opinion, it's always best to have an escrow account. Again, we're not lenders. It's not our jobs to explain that to these clients, but it is our job to help them understand what an escrow account is and how it works. And so this is what that's all about, is collecting money up front to pay future bills, to pay your future homeowner's insurance policy and your future property taxes. Now, I had one guy one time ask me what this aggregate adjustment is. Why is he getting $786.30 back? What's this credit about? I was in Vacaville, probably an hour away from where I'm at. It was 8 o'clock at night. Escrow officer was at home taking care of her kids. And I didn't know what an aggregate adjustment was. And so I had the client and myself call our title and escrow officer, and she was not happy with me that I called her that late at night. And that's why it's important to go through these classes, get a clear understanding of this stuff, because you don't want to ruin the rapport that you may have with these direct clients. If you're asking them silly questions they think you should know, it could potentially sabotage your relationship and your opportunity to get future signings from these people. So come here, make your mistakes here, make your mistakes with signing services, live and learn before you go out and potentially sabotage a long-lasting, fruitful relationship with a direct client. But the aggregate adjustment, by law, the federal government regulates how much a lender is allowed to collect upfront for taxes and insurance per month. So the lender just categorizes it by month based off of what the estimated tax bills are and what the estimated insurance bills are. And they collect that money. But then after they go through what the government's formula is, and I'm not going to go through all that detail right now, but if you want to, just type in aggregate adjustment in a search engine after we're done with this, and it'll give you a very clear explanation of what exactly it is and how it works and the formula associated with it. I'm giving you a very brief Cliff Notes version of it, but it's pretty much the difference of what the lender collected ahead of time and what the federal guideline is of how much they're allowed to collect, but they have to document it on the statement here. So they collected this much and then they're reimbursing this much just on paper. And then it looks like the lender gave the borrowers a credit. They have incentives. They want them to do business with them. So they're saying, hey, we're going to give you $5,185.03 to do your loan with us. When we go into the title and escrow charges, this is pretty much the same thing as a title and escrow charges for the seller statement. You know, title and escrow fees are pretty much to just protect the buyer, protect the seller, protect the lender. In the event that there's some other liens sitting somewhere, there's some other rights of ownership owned by somebody that they weren't able to assess or find. And all that's put into what's called a preliminary title report, which is usually in the escrow documents. It shows that the title company did all of their due diligence. They didn't find any liens other than what's shown on the transaction here, the settlement statement sheet. They didn't find any other rights of ownership, and we've got a green light. So that's mainly what these title and escrow fees are about. And again, I just summarize it to them just like that. I don't go into all the details. I don't talk about my signing fee. Usually I'll hand over the settlement statement to them right when I get to the signing. Like, have you guys had a chance to see your numbers yet? And 99% of the time they're like, no, we haven't seen them yet. I'm like, great. Here they are. Let me get your IDs and I'll get them logged into my journal while they're reviewing the settlement statement. And then I will ask them, do you have any questions or concerns about anything? Because chances are their lender probably talked to them a lot about that stuff, but they just hadn't seen the final numbers. And that way they have some time to review it without any pressure of you waiting on them. And you've got some time while they're occupied looking at that to get your journal filled out. So you're killing two birds with one stone. You're using up all the time, wisely. We've got the government charges, the recording fee, the transfer tax estimate. Again, those are government charges. We have no control over that stuff, guys. If you really want to get into the details, you can have them contact their whoever, the tax people, I don't even think the title and escrow companies really know exactly what these fees are and where they go. The government gets their hands in everything. They want to get paid on everything. So they're charging for everything, a recording fee and the transfer of tax estimate. So because this is a refinance loan, she's paying off the first loan that she had with Rushmore Loan Management Services. And it has, typically when you're doing a refinance, you're going to see an estimated payoff statement in the loan package somewhere. So you'll see a statement here that shows exactly these numbers here. And a lot of times it may also show what their escrow balance is. So one of the things is that she may have already had an escrow account or impound account established with her last loan where that lender was paying her taxes and insurance for her. But now they've reestablished a new impound account for this new loan. So once the old loan is paid off, that lender, I believe, has 21 days by law to refund any balance that she may have sitting in her escrow account right now for her future taxes and insurance, because there's already been a new account established with updated numbers based off of updated tax amounts and insurance amounts. So a lot of times it'll show that on the payoff statement when you see it in the package, and you can showcase that to them. Let them know, hey, looks like you've got $2,200 sitting in your escrow account. You'll get that money back. And, we'll talk about that as we progress through these classes each week. Looks like the refinancer had some property taxes due, but she paid them outside of closing. Oh, and there's a divorce balance to Joe Singleman in $75,000. So that tells me right off the bat that it looks like she's refinancing this property to buy out her ex-husband. And so she's paying him off with 75 grand to get him out of her life. And he's a single man now. And it looks like after everything's said and done, she's got him out of his life. She's got him paid. She's got a house all to herself. And she gets, she still owes the title company $6.16, which honestly, if it's that small amount, it's not a big deal. The title company is going to find a way to squeeze that out of something somewhere, because like I said, they usually overestimate on these fees. So that's kind of a quick breakdown of what a refinance statement looks like. Does anybody have any questions or concerns I could help address about this? Anybody? Bueller? Don't be shy. If not, no big deal. If you do, if something comes to your head later on, feel free to reach out to me directly at 1-866 SIGSIGN, SIGSIGN, extension 700. That's my direct telephone line. If I don't answer, leave a message, or you can also text at that number. You don't need to use the extension, just text 1-866 SIGSIGN 744-7446. And I can get your text that way, and I can respond to you as soon as I'm out of meetings. Or you can also email me directly, Mike, MIKE, at signaturesignings.com. So I've got Rachel Chisenhall here. She's our, like I said earlier, she's our licensed life, marriage, family therapist. And she's going to talk today a little bit about, the mindset of growing your business. Trying to think, more about becoming something bigger than just yourself. And so I'm going to turn everything over here to you, Rachel. I think that was a clear enough explanation of what it is we're going to be talking about today really quick?
Yeah, and I'm just going to talk for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then if there's any questions, then anyone's welcome to, of course, email me or contact me after. One thing that I find is super important, and we don't spend a lot of time on it when we start businesses, is really identifying our why. And also what success is varies from person to person. I typically think that it sounds probably counterintuitive, but money is often not enough of a motivation for people alone to do the hard things they need to do. Most people would probably value their time over money, especially when we want to spend our time with people we love or we have children at home. A lot of the incentive of being an entrepreneur or starting your own business is to have a flexible schedule and be able to work when you want to work. And a lot of times we actually sacrifice money the first few years to do that, as opposed to a 9-to-5 salary job where we'd get the money right away. But we also would not own our schedule the way we would with our own business. So I really like to push or challenge my clients to define success in a really detailed way, not just make more money. Everyone wants more money all the time, right?
We all do.
Right. That's never going to change. So to kind of really get your definition of what success looks like and identifying your why, I also like to really include or encourage people to include ways in their why they can give back. Most of the time we have a cause or a population of people that kind of tugs at our hearts. So for example, one of my whys is to be so successful and so financially stable that I can do free therapy for different foster care agencies, right? So because honestly, any kind of systems, government system or agency, they don't have the money to spend for good quality therapy. So that's always really important to me too. So kind of getting that why, that successful mindset. One of my favorite definitions I found of growth mindset is a belief, which we talk about all the time, how important beliefs are, that your efforts and those of other people will lead to success in business. It does not matter if this path is an uphill battle or a downhill sprint. A growth mindset encourages you to overcome obstacles and view setbacks as opportunities. And one of my other favorite quotes to remember is change is inevitable, growth is optional, right? There's going to always be changes. Nothing lasts forever, even when we want it to. But that growth part is really earned. It's usually from making really conscious choices. And especially in our businesses, I think remembering our why and those desired outcomes really adds up. That's what I would say too. Mike, do you want to add anything?
Sorry, I'm gonna rewatch your part here. I'm answering people's questions stuff, and my ADHD brain, I can't focus on more than one thing at a time.
More power.
So I really apologize.
That's okay.
I'm multitasking. But does anybody have anything else that they'd like to add in regards to what Rachel was talking about?
And we can get into more specifics, maybe when we have more time too, about what that looks like. There's definitely, I think, certain traits associated with success, like accountability is a tough one, but accountability is actually really sexy. It's the most powerful thing a person can be. I would also say to have clarity around what you want. Again, I don't let my clients get away with vague answers. So if they say more money, happier, better relationship, right? I make them say more, get more specific, get even more
Right.
specific, and get even more specific.
We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, I think, with the goal setting workshop that I did, and you can find the goal setting sheet on our resources tab in the members area only. And I mean, we talked about not just setting goals, but the steps it takes to get you there to achieve your goals. You can want everything you want, but if you're not willing to do the things it takes to get you there, you're not going to get anywhere, obviously, at all. And
That's
go
the
ahead.
tough part for everybody. But I also think that it can feel really good, even when we have to do uncomfortable things, if it's aligned with what we want. And
Mhm.
if it's aligned with our beliefs about why we're doing what we're doing. You know, I have pictures on my office wall all the time of my daughter, of different trips, different things I want to do, because money, just the word money, probably wouldn't be enough for me to want to put in extra hours, efforts, or do uncomfortable things like cast or talk in front of an audience. But I always find after I do those things, I feel more energized. So that's always a good way to measure if I'm in the right place, doing the right things, even if it's uncomfortable or scary. That's actually not a sign you're not doing the right things. It's how you feel afterwards. Am I
Right.
drained or am I filled up? Because I will tell you, it probably sounds silly, but after 7 or 8 nonstop back-to-back appointments, I have more energy. Right? A lot of other people might be exhausted, but I feel like I'm on a high. Right? So that helps me always know I'm doing the right things and I'm saying
Until you've done 12 of them.
the what?
Until you've done like 12 of them, and you're just like, oh my
And I
God.
get grumpy, a little bit grumpy. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little thing that I used to do when I was a financial advisor, when I was helping other people set their financial goals. And I called it the 2-year-old, because I would consistently ask, well, why? Why? Okay, you want more money, but why? Well, so I can spend more time with my family. Why do you want to spend more time with your family? Because I love them. Well, why do you love them? Because they do amazing things for me. Why do they do that? Because I do amazing things for them. And we literally just continue to ask why until you narrow it down to the exact reason you want to be successful. You want to find financial freedom, or maybe it's not even about the money at all. Maybe it's the money that allows you to have the time to do the things you want to do. I mean, everybody's definition of success, like you said, is different. So ask yourself, do the 2-year-old process. Ask yourself why, until you can't answer that question anymore.
Anyone that
And
has
write it all down.
a 2-year-old knows how actually like that's super spot on. I love that. I'm gonna call it
Right?
that from on. Yeah.
You can borrow that. I'll let you could even coin it if you wanted to.
Toddler method. Yeah. The micro toddler method.
All right, guys. Well, you can reach out to Rachel. Rachel, give them all your stuff for me, will you?
Sure. So my email is therapywithrach@gmail.com. And you can also follow me on my Instagram, which is therapy.with.rach on Instagram. And I post stuff nonstop every day, all day. And you also can message me on there.
Yep. If you're looking to get motivated, inspired, just need someone to cheer you up or to have an uplifting quote, definitely go check out her page, because I know when I'm having a bad day, or sometimes I'll just go scroll through her Instagram and I'll read all these great inspiring quotes and things that she posts, and it makes me feel better, and also helps me realize that I'm not the only person in the world that has problems and issues. And it helps me validate that it's going to be okay, because everybody else is going through the same shit we're all going through. And there's nothing like having a community around us to support us and motivate and inspire us. And really, that's what Signature Signings is all about. We want to help create a network of people that we can rely on to be there for each other, not just to create opportunity, but to help to push each other become bigger and better, not just in business, but in life in general, which is why I have Rachel here. So thank you,
Yeah,
Rachel, so much.
absolutely. Community is powerful, Mike, and you're doing a good job of providing that. And I love what you said. You're not alone. Not only does everybody have issues, everyone's allowed to have issues, right? Like I can't stress that enough. Not only does everybody struggle, you're allowed to struggle, right? That's not a crime. So
Nope.
it's part of being human. Welcome to being human. There's no way around it. You're going to struggle.
Sometimes I'm in a bad mood. I don't even want to be happy. It's like I just need to go through this process of being in a bad mood. And I actually find comfort in being in a crappy mood sometimes. It's like, just leave me alone. I want to be in my mood and I know I'm going to get out of it.
Right.
And
You always
so just know that you're not the only one if you've ever felt like that. So Rachel, will you do me a favor? Because some of the people may not have gotten that information jotted down. And so in the meeting chat, I put my information. Could you put down your information in the meeting chat as well?
Absolutely. Yeah. And on Facebook as well, I know that Mike tags me in a lot of things. My Facebook page is kind of new, but that's also just Rachel Chisenhall, licensed MFT, which is licensed marriage family therapist. Yep.
Awesome.
That in the chat.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to give everybody one last opportunity before we call it the day, because I literally have to run. I know Rachel's got a meeting coming up here in just a few minutes, and I have to be at a signing in downtown, which is about 30 miles away in about 35 minutes. So, but any last questions or concerns or anything you want to put out there to the world real quick? All right, then. Well, thank you guys all for showing up. Share us on Facebook and tell all your notary friends and everyone to tune in and check us out. Go to signaturescience.com, get signed up as a member. It doesn't cost you anything. If you want to pay the $25, invest in us a little bit. We'll invest back into you and giving you those opportunities. And let's go out and create some real relationships with people that are going to send us opportunity, and let's share them with the world. All right. You guys all have a great day. And thank you so much. Take care. Bye.